What's going on, guys? Felix here from Shopify Masters Podcast and Podcasting Secrets, and I'm back in the car at one of those post dog park Facebook Lives. Dog in the back. You probably hear him panting. He's had a lot of fun running around. And today I'm going to talk to you about survival is success and what that means. So this past year, I've actually been super proud of myself because it's been for the first time where I have actually given up less. I've spent less time giving up on things, and I start focusing on what I'm working on. And when I run into obstacles, which I know now to look out for, I am much less likely to just bail on the entire thing and give up and start a new project. So I'm launching, Podcasting Secrets. I am run into issues. I'm trying to figure things out. I'm actually staying in the game longer than I have before, and it's been a goal of mine this entire year to do that. Because I've always given up too early. I've always run to obstacles and then think it's fatal and then give up on myself and then just kind of move on to the next thing. And then I did the same over and over again. I would start something, run to an obstacle, give up on it, start something new, run to an obstacle, give up on that, start something new, and think that every single time by chasing something new, it will improve my situation rather than trying to just work from where I'm at today. And that's my biggest struggle, always giving up and moving on to something new. So I started focusing this year on just being more intentional about forcing myself to stay in the position that I'm at rather than moving on to something new. And I've been listening to the audiobook Shoe Dog, which is about Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, Nike sneakers and of course all the other apparel, and how he got started. So he got started in the 1960s as an early 20-year-old, and I'm still reading the book, but the biggest lesson from the book that I'm getting out of it so far is that his success, multi-billionaire company, started from basically nothing, right? He didn't have any background in sneakers. He didn't have any connections in the sneaker industry. But all he was focused on was solving his own problems, not giving up. He ran into so many obstacles. The entire book is about his struggles and about the things that went wrong, and then him just finding a way to get around it. And for him, it's crazy, man. Like the things that would happen, like he didn't start off with Nike at first. He started off by being a reseller of this Japanese shoe company called Onosaku or something like that, where they sell Tiger sneakers, which are still sneakers today. You can find them in sneaker stores today. And he started off by going over to Japan as that someone that did not speak Japanese, did not have an experience working with Japanese companies, and got them. He didn't know how he was going to do it, but he got into a room and got them to agree to allow him to be the exclusive reseller in North America, and I think in USA specifically. So he got that agreement. He went back home, and he found that they actually weren't that serious about him. He ended up finding out a couple years later that there was another big reseller of the sneakers in the U.S., even though he was given exclusive rights, rather than just giving up, because every single time it looked like a death knell, right? Like it looked like he was done. It looked like he should just give up on his business, but then he's found a way to make it work. He found a way to just keep on solving his own problems rather than abandoning the project, rather than abandoning it. It just, every single time he ran into issue, just sounded like the end. In my case, I would think that it's the end. But he had this knack for survival. He didn't necessarily have any exclusive skills that anyone didn't have. He just refused to give up. He just was almost like he almost was intentional with his stubbornness. And that's what I learned, was that survival is success. As long as you keep on staying in the game and you believe in yourself, in the sense that you believe that you can solve things, you will solve the problem that's in front of you, and then keep on moving on to the next thing. And that's what happened to him. He kept on running to issues, and had to keep on solving it. He had his top salesperson wanting to quit, and then he figured out a way to solve it. He figured out not some creative way to solve. He just refused to leave the problem, sat in the problem, let him marinate, let him surround him, and eventually he figured it out. And again, survival is success, and that's what I learned from his story. I was also paying attention to another entrepreneur that was literally homeless and built one of the biggest independent sneaker. I was into the sneaker kick for a bit. And he built one of the biggest, most popular independent sneaker consignment shops, which is basically you bring in your sneakers, they sell it for you, they take a cut out of it. I think they take like a 20% cut or 10% cut of what you sell. And he was literally homeless, landed in Las Vegas, and started begging for money, started saved up some of his money to buy packages of water bottles, sold water bottles one off. Found out that people were waiting in line for exclusive sneaker releases, so he would wait in line for them, and just started kind of scrounging his money together. Eventually saved enough money to keep on flipping sneakers, and eventually had enough money to buy his own store. And what he said was really interesting in a 60-minute interview. The thing that stuck out the most to me was that he said that he did not give any energy to his problems. And I was thinking, like, this seems opposite of what I'm learning from Phil Knight's Shoe Dog, because he spent so much time kind of figure out what is his problem, right? So what he ended up doing instead that was different was that he would not give any energy to his problem, meaning that he would only focus on the solutions. He had no time, no energy to feel sorry for himself, to like stress about the problem. They always went immediately into problem solving mode, into getting creative and trying to solve that problem. And again, for him, survival is success. How long can you keep on solving your problems so that you don't give up on yourself, so that you don't run out of money, so that you don't run out of resources, so that you can stay in the game? And that's what I've learned, is that survival is success. So what that means for me is that I'm just going to focus on how do I get to the next day, how do I get to the next week, how do I get to the next month, rather than trying to have this huge goal of having this big business that I want, right, with Podcasting Secrets. Had this big goal with it, big vision with it and everything, but instead of trying to focus so much on that big goal, focus on survival. How do I get to the next step? How do I get to the next day? How do I keep my spirits up? How do I keep on trudging forward? And that's what I'm going to focus on, is just focusing on survival, because that's what I've learned from Shoe Dog so far. Great autobiography, to highly recommend for any business owner out there, entrepreneur, is that it teaches you how you're not going to run out of problems. You're only going to run into problems, and the way to win the game is just finding out ways, finding out keys to keep you in the game, to keep on surviving, to survive long enough to figure out the solution to the problem, and then focus on tackling the next one. So that's my goal. That's what I learned, is that I need to get better at focusing on not giving up, and the best way for me to do that is just figuring out, okay, how do I survive this problem? What do I do to survive this problem so I can move on to the next thing? And I feel good about it. I feel good about this goal, and I feel much better place than I've been at in the past years, where I gave up so easily, because I have, by doing this, by solving one problem at a time, I start building faith, building credibility with myself that I can sustain, I can withstand a problem, I can survive the hurricane, the tornado of a problem, and survive long enough, and I know I have the skill sets and the ability to solve it and move on to the next thing. So hopefully it helps you out. Again, survival is success. Focus on how you can survive. Focus on how you can continue to stay in the game, move on to the next thing, and you'll be all right. So hopefully it helps you out, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.